The following program contains scenes and language of a frank and explicit nature. Viewer discretion is advised.
In 5, 4, 3, 2, live now.
Don't know, Mike. I don't know what you're talking about. Hey, everybody. He's a macho. Savage, you're listening to Mike Trash, TrashTalkingRadio.com. The best in the business. Say it to Macho.
Wrestling fans throughout radio land, listen to Trash Talking Radio at TrashTalkingRadio.com. Every Tuesday from 7 to 10 o'clock, you hear guys like myself, the Ugandan Giant Kamala. And that's my story.
Using mere words to describe that Trash Talking Radio show from 7 to whenever we get done is like using a screwdriver to cut roast beef. This is Sluneva Sean, the other half of the Rock and Wrestling Connection. That's the trashy one and the loose one together forever.
I'm here to tell you about Mike Talking Trash. With the Trash, 7 to 10. Tuesday nights, you got to listen in. It's the best around, the best in town. Alright, hey, this is the Animal. One half of the world famous taking the Road Warriors. What you gonna do? If you know what's good for you, you'll listen to Trash Talking Radio or else.
Everybody, you're watching Trash Talking Radio. This is Hulk Hogan. Hulk, what do you got to say about Trash Talking Radio?
Well, I gotta say that I just bought Trash Talking Radio. You're out of the picture, dude. This is my show, and you better watch because what you gonna do when Hulk Hogan's brand new Trash Talking Radio runs wild on you?
This is the Vital Idol, and you're listening to Trash Talking Radio every Tuesday from 7 to 10 on Trash Talking Radio. For this. When the Vital Idol tells you, it's got to be true. And when it's on the internet, it's got to be real. It's Trash Talking Radio every Tuesday from 7 to 10. I am the top of pop, the king of swing, the international rock star way above par, the host with the most, Mr. Tuesday Night, the Vital Idol, Classy Mike Trash, and thank you very much.
It is Trash Talking Radio. It is Tuesday night. It is the best time of the week, and even with technical difficulties, it is the best time of the week. And I'm going to be there. Just a minute. Just hold on. Don't be upset. I know everybody just waits with bated breath. Oh, here we go again. I got to replay that section so I can get our backdrop. There we go. There. Stop. There. Okay. Hey, Doug. How you doing? I am doing great. I had a very busy weekend, and I'm just bitten at the whatever to talk about it. I don't even know what that phrase is. Bitten at something. Anyway, whew. How was your weekend?
Weekend was great. I spent the day today at the beach at a local state park. I'm burned to the crisp. And,
you have
just
beaches.
Trying to get my summer.
You have beaches there?
Well, state park beaches and a lake.
Oh, a lake's better than nothing, I guess. I wish I
That's
had
right.
the one thing that I would love is to have a beach like a beach with sand and waves, and I love beaches. I'm a beach bum. So, but you can't have it all. Where would you put it? Actually,
well, you got Raystown, but that's a little bit of a drive.
Yeah, we also have what is it? There's Pincho Park.
Pincho.
Yeah, and that's an okay beach, but it's not the same as a beach. Not with. I like waves. I like to hear the ocean. The ocean is one of my favorite things to hear in the world. So, yeah. Oh.
Well, we get waves here, but that's because of the boats coming by the swimming hole.
I gotta change one thing up on the. I don't know why I can't see my own video. What's going on here? Try this again. There it is. Why isn't it not showing up? Try this again. Now I'll probably do it twice. Let's see if it shows up this time. So I'm in a competition for Hitmaker or something like that. I have a chance to win $10,000. I haven't won anything, but I won it. Last year I went through I was in the last round. They go through and eliminate people by rounds, and I made it up to the last round. But, you know, I don't know how real it is, and it's one of those things that you just do it because why not? So, you know, it's one of those things. Okay, now I think we got the show running. Let me make sure my sister knows it's running, because I don't think anybody's in the chat room. That's why I'm curious. Let's just make sure she knows it's on, because I know she's been busy and all that fun stuff, and she hasn't been there for the past couple weeks. So, show is on. Keep it simple. Now, all right, and I just told a bunch of people, I sent a bunch of notifications to people that were on the air live, and let's see if anybody pays attention. Let's see. Oh, well, wait a minute. Hold on there. Are they at maybe they're in a different chat room. Darn, I gotta figure this out. Nope, that's the video. So this weekend I spent, I had a July 4th party already on Saturday. A friend of mine who was a bass player for me in Apathy, I reconnected with him last year sometime, and he invited me to this party, and I thought, oh, that's awesome. I get to, you know, hang out with someone I haven't seen for a long time, and someone who, you know, he was the youngest kid in the band. I was 20, I think I was 22 at the time, maybe 23, and he was like 17. So that was scandalous. But his mom was okay with it, and his mom, it's funny because he lived with his mom when he was growing up, obviously, but now his mom lives with him. He built her a little apartment, and she lives in the apartment. And it's kind of neat. And she's such a nice lady. She is so nice. And I saw her last year, and someone told me that she was really upset when we were in the band and we painted. We were in the basement. We painted the basement with a big, giant Apathy logo. And when she saw that, I was told she got mad and flipped her top. So I said to her, the first thing I said to her was, hey, I'm sorry that we painted your basement. And she said, oh, it was no big deal. I didn't have anything to do with it because I'm not artistic like that. I can't paint anything. But then later on in the day, I broke into her apartment, and I left her a happy birthday card. And it was, I didn't break into the apartment. They left me into the apartment, but she didn't know I was in there. But it was kind of neat. And I saw her this time, and she looked good. She's got to be in her 80s, I guess. And so anyway. So this time we went, and I met a couple people I didn't know, and there were a couple people I think there were a couple people I knew, not too many, but there was a guy that when I got there, they said John's showing up. Now I haven't seen John since he was in the Barking Rats in 1980, I'm gonna say 85, and he showed up. He's living in Key West, so he's got a business going down there. He makes. Oh, by the way, Christine says hi. So, but anyway, he has a boating service, and you can, rent his boat. He has a fleet of boats, I guess. Anyway, he came up to visit, and I got to see him. I was really happy to see him because I haven't seen him in so long, and I just thought it would be a cool idea if I got a chance to talk to him because I haven't talked to him for so long, and it was good. He looked good, and he brought his dogs along, and I got to meet his dogs. He has great dogs, and it was fun. But I had to go because I had an obligation that I was going to be playing referee at a card, and the basic storyline is that the Trash Talking Radio belt is being held by a woman. She won it a year ago, January, and I haven't been able to get it off of her. And it frustrates me because I don't want her to have it. Not because she's a woman. I don't have a problem with that. I actually have a woman's belt, but I don't want her to have it because I just have known her for a long time and didn't want her to win it, and she keeps holding on to it. So this was my chance. I'm representing the guy that she's going against as ref. So I'm getting to be the ref. And it was fun. I got to be the ref. And later on, after we see who shows up in the chat room, I'll play the video and you can see what happened that night. And I can tell you, it was fun. It was a lot of fun. And there's a lot of surprises in the middle of that match. So I made a lot of enemies at first. But I do that naturally. That's my natural thing.
Yeah, well, I hate you too.
Everybody hates me. I expect that. I try to get that. That's my goal in life. You can't succeed if you don't feel the hate. Or something like that. I don't know. And my wrestling promotion is going to be having an event, 2 events in a row. We're going to have one at the end of September at a place called the Monster Factory. Now, the Monster Factory is legendary for producing wrestlers. He made The Big Show. They made, actually today, I can tell you, Damian Priest came out of there. There's a ton of guys that came out of there that are actually in the WWE right now or in the AEW. So they have a very nice building, and you can run shows out of there. So we decided we were going to try that building because it's in Delaware. It's just outside of Delaware, so it's not real far. It's the same distance as the other building. The other building just wasn't drawing for us, for anybody. So we decided we got to find a better location because that other building, everybody's running in that building. So nobody knows, and it's really well secluded. If you wanted to have a secret rendezvous, that would be a good building. This other place, everybody knows there's wrestling. And I'm hoping that we do well because I don't like losing money. It's really bad when you lose money. I want to make money. I don't know. Somebody told me that that's what you're supposed to do. So this time we'll see if we can make money. And they have a really state-of-the-art. They're including the ring. They're including the chairs. They're including the lighting. They're including the sound man. They're including we get concessions. That's something I really want because you can make a lot of money in concessions. So I figure we got nothing to lose there. We might as well try it. And then we have an event November 2nd in Philadelphia, or just outside Philadelphia. So it's going to be good. We're going to run 2 events kind of back to back. Let's see what happens. This building's a little more expensive than the other building, by the way. No, it's a lot more expensive than the other building, but it's a lot better. It's a better location, has good parking. The old building didn't have good parking. You couldn't figure out where to park your car, and it was kind of a shady neighborhood. So sometimes with wrestling, a shady neighborhood makes you a lot of money. Sometimes nobody cares. This one, nobody cares. So we'll see what happens with this, but I'm excited about it because it could be what we need to get this thing off the ground. So, all right, that's that. What do I want? Oh, I think our big subject today should be, we need to do this at the next debate. We need to be live with the next debate. Hey, there's other people doing it.
Everybody's
But you
doing
know
it
the
now.
funny part? Okay, so I'm assuming you watched the debate.
I did not.
You
But I
didn't?
heard the app.
Oh,
Nope.
well, I
I
expected
had
you to
another
have a
commitment.
report.
I've listened to about probably 15 broadcasts.
Well, I can tell you what
talking about
happened because I saw it, and I was glued to it because you had to keep digging the crap that they were both shoveling, and they both shoveled a lot of crap.
My take was nobody won, but Biden lost.
Yes, and I've got a lot of articles on the debate which I do want to discuss, but yeah, it was. Well, we might as well talk about it now since I'm talking about it. We might as well talk about some of the things I wanted to talk about. One of the things was the takeaways. I believe I read somewhere that the Democrats are all of a sudden thinking maybe we don't want Biden to be our guy. And I can...
Internally,
yes,
they are asking Jill Biden to pull her husband out.
And what do you think that would do?
It would be a scrum.
Do they have
trying
somebody
to figure
else?
out who would replace him? They got nobody.
See, that's the thing. Unless Hillary's going to come back, they got nobody.
Well, they've got Whitmer from Michigan, Newsom from California.
And Newsom is not a good candidate.
He's ruined California.
Yeah, that's why I said I wouldn't give him a dime. And yeah, I mean it's like his own. He was embarrassed. But the first half, he was really embarrassing. The way I said it is, he looked like the deer in the headlights, and Trump looked like the car running with the headlights in the beginning because he just rolled right over him. It got better as it started ending, but you know the funny part about this is everybody's take on this is differently. After the debate, I was switching through the different channels of YouTube, and I picked up first a Democratic channel. And they were saying, Biden was so great, he was so awesome, he was on point on everything. And I'm thinking, did I have the wrong channel on? That's not the channel I watched. Biden was nowhere. He made a couple points that were good. He lied about 9 times. Not as many as Trump. Trump really was way up there. But, he was way wrong on so much. And he's saying this is the lowest.
The one that made me the maddest, he says, not one service member died under my watch.
Yeah.
Being a vet, that really angered me.
That was very, very bad, and it was very wrong. And the other one I was laughing at was when he said, inflation's at its lowest that it's ever been. I'm like, where are you living? How could you say that? I mean, you couldn't be any more wrong than that. And he says gas prices are as low as they've ever been. I don't know what country he's in, but he's not seeing the same thing as reality. And that really looked bad for him.
When he took office, gas was $1.74 a gallon.
So Trump was right about that. Okay. I wasn't sure. See, I haven't had gas. I haven't had to worry about gas for so long. It just frustrates me that, there were fact checkers and all that stuff. But anyway, this whole channel where they were just saying how great he did, and I thought, no, he didn't do that well. And then I went from there to another channel, and it happened to be, by chance, a Republican channel. And they were saying, oh, how great Trump is. He's the awesomest guy, and everything he did was great, and they said nothing bad about him. And then he said, we're going to bring on our next guest. Do you know their guest?
Yeah.
Alex Jones.
Oh,
I thought,
really?
what in the... if I was running for president, I would want him nowhere near my campaign. Nowhere. And they were saying how great Alex Jones was, and I'm thinking, do you people not read the news? I mean, come on. I'm not up on everything, but seriously, if you're into politics, you got to know something. And after I saw that, I turned it off because I don't want to hear what Alex Jones has to say. The only thing I want Alex Jones to do is go away, you know? But anyway, so the articles that I have here, panic over Biden's shaky debate performance. That was one that I had. Thought that was kind of interesting to hear their take on that. And that's from Hollywood. So now Hollywood is pro-Biden for the most part. So it's interesting to see them say what they said about this. It says here, President Joe Biden had several surprising stumbles while arguing against the nonstop barrage of insults and attempts to take down his administration. It was funny because Trump was I was amused by some of the stuff Trump said, offended by some of the things he said, but that's what I expect from him. You know, Joe was saying the only criminal up here is you. For you know, he said, and then he asked, he said something about him sleeping with Stormy, and of course, Trump said, "I never slept with her." Yeah, there was no sleeping involved, but you know, but it was really bad, and he really did not. He did not look good at all. He really looked like he was on another planet. And it's sad because, you know, that gives us an idea of what he's doing now in office. You know,
his evidently works well between 12 and 2:30 or 3:30.
Okay.
Between 10 and about 2:30, 3:30. He's sharp.
Okay.
He's on target. You put him in the evening, he's not good at all.
It was horrible. It was really sad. I mean, it was worse than I ever imagined it would be. So, and I thought it would be pretty. I thought it was going to be pretty bad, but it was way worse.
The New York Times has called for him to leave.
Yeah.
The Washington Post has called for him to leave.
That's sad.
And he's got pundits all over the place saying he's got to go.
Yeah. This has got to be the first time in history we have a criminal and a guy that's
senile.
Yeah. So what's your choices? I mean, that's it. We have no other choice. Yeah, and it says here that while the 78-year-old Trump pounced on Biden again and again, about a half hour into the debate, the sitting president took his gloves off. Biden laid into Trump for being a convicted felon, a new distinction after his hush money trial ended with a guilty verdict, and then laid into him for his many legal issues. It escalated with Trump's reply, which is about Hunter Biden, which he called a criminal after Biden's son was convicted of 3 felonies in a federal gun trial. Biden went on the jugular at that point for his alleged tryst with Stormy Daniels, mentioning Trump had supposedly an affair while his wife was pregnant. There's nothing against the law, I think, about that. I don't see. The thing is that I understand it not being correct, not being right that somebody should do that. Morally, it is definitely wrong. But again, it has nothing to do with the presidency, and I just wish they would stick to the facts of the presidency, because that's what I'm interested in, is what's he going to do as president. And now there's a big thing where I guess just recently, I got a bunch of stuff here. I'm trying to weed it through. I don't want to spend the whole day on it. But there was a, where is it? Okay, I'll just read the headlines. That'll be quick enough. See here, the one article. Okay, yeah. So the one article is the everyone being the Biden's shaky debate performance. The second thing was Biden will be a one-term president. He still has a chance to watch a Democrat be inaugurated. There are 68 days until the DNC. I don't think that that's going to really solve anything. I think that that person's just going to be, the scapegoat, and then they can use, well, he was a last-minute replacement. I don't even know what the right thing is to do here, because there's just so much crap from both of them. So then it says, this can't be real life on The Daily Show. Jon Stewart reacted to a very dramatic debate between Biden and Trump. Stewart roasted the performances of both candidates and seemed massively frustrated with the electoral choice America's been presented with. Yeah, and then he didn't just have a frog in his throat, he had the entire amphibian kingdom in the review of that article. And then everybody take a breath in a guest column. Eric Schultz, who served as the deputy press secretary to Obama, acted as the political consultant for the Civil War and succession, offered to take on the first debate. Diminishing returns. The first face-off between Joe Biden and Donald Trump drew a big audience, but not nearly as big as their 2020 debates. The 99-minute debate produced by CNN aired in 16 other networks, averaged 51.27 million viewers, according to the same-day ratings, the Nielsen ratings, down 30% from the candidate's first debate in 2020. See, that tells you that people already have their minds made up. And just really, and then it says here, Biden's family is telling him to stay in the race even as calls for exit grow. Then there's the presidential immunity thing. I guess the Supreme Court was set to rule. Actually, they ruled that. Did they rule that yet?
Yeah. If you're doing an official act, you're immune.
Okay.
If you're doing an official act, well, there's 3 baskets, and I can't remember the second basket. But what they did is they sent it back to the district court to decide if Trump is what he's being charged with is an official act or not.
Okay.
Did he do it as president of the United States, or did he do it in the campaign to become a second-term president? They have to make these decisions, and it's going to be appealed the whole way back up to the Supreme Court.
Okay.
And so none of his trials now are going to take place before the election.
Well, that's
because of the appeal process.
His lawyers are real good.
And if he wins, he'll just tell the prosecutors to go away.
Yeah. Yep. Boy, there's a lot of history here. There's a lot of people. If we survive this whole mess, 20 years from now, they'll be teaching this in school. How to win.
Oh yeah, this is going to be taught in school.
Yeah. It's amazing. I mean, this is. I can't even. I would have never seen any of this. This is better writing than wrestling promos and wrestling storylines. I mean, this.
You couldn't write this.
You couldn't. It's just amazing that you got some.
No one would believe it, Mike.
No, I think I have a hard time thinking that. Okay, I want to change the channel, but you can. It's on all the channels. That's crazy. But anyway, so that's the crap that we've got there, and it just amazes me that this is what our presidency is all about. I never in my wildest dreams would have thought that we would run into this kind of stuff. I would say there's unless I can't even think of a candidate that could beat him now, except The Rock. If The Rock were to say, "Okay, I'll run," I'll bet you he would beat him, because people are into superheroes, and he's definitely stronger and bigger, and even actually has probably more money than I would imagine than Trump does. So maybe we can be saved by The Rock.
No.
Huh?
Rock, how much does he have?
He has
What's his net worth?
He has a couple $1 billion. He's the highest paid guy in Hollywood right now. And he's got a lot of money. I mean, I can't even all I know is I know he's in the billions. So, and I would wonder if Trump is still in the billions after all these things that are happening.
He's hemorrhaging money.
Yeah. So, he could actually beat him, because I think since I believe it is a popularity contest, that he could beat him, and I don't know who else could. I don't think Hulk Hogan could beat him.
Michelle.
Who?
Michelle Obama.
I would say that she would have a chance. Does she want to run?
She'd have a good chance of
Does she
beating
want to run?
Her.
I would vote for her.
Her positives are extremely high. They're higher than her husband's.
He was pretty. I liked him. I would. That's something to think of. Well, they're going to have to do some shuffling here.
She wants nothing to do with politics. It's not going to happen.
I know.
But if she ran, she could beat Trump.
Who else could go? Who else do you think would even have a chance?
No, there's nobody else.
That's a sad
The Democrats are really hurting.
Yeah. That's a sad thing. I wish there was I don't know. It could be worse, I guess. If Biden gets in, it will be worse. Although he's just a puppet. I think people are doing his work for him. And
evidently there's 3 people running the country. It says chief of staff, there's another advisor, and Jill. Jill's probably the closest to being president of any wife has ever been. She makes a lot of decisions.
Do you like her?
What?
Do you like her? Do you think she would do okay? I don't know enough about her.
No, I don't know, but her likabilities are better than her husband's.
Well, that's not too difficult to be.
No.
I think when he was of full senses, I didn't dislike him. I didn't have any real opinions of him. But, what a weird life we have.
See, I don't want a candidate that's all the way left or all the way right.
I understand that.
And that's what we have. We have a candidate
Yes.
that's very progressive and a candidate that's mega candidate.
Yes.
Far right wing.
So,
And I'm neither one of those.
what do you think of, I almost hate to say these words, but what do you think of Kennedy?
He's very liberal, but he makes more sense than either one of the 2 presidential candidates.
I would have to agree with that.
He's very articulate, and he knows his stuff. You just have to get past how liberal he is on some issues.
Right.
That's all.
Yeah. Well,
But, I wish he was getting more of I wish he was in the debate.
Yes.
Because he would have won the debate.
Yes. Well, that's because they couldn't pick on him because they're too busy picking on each other. He would be the winner just to shut up and stand there.
Yeah.
Because they're picking on each other. They have nothing to pick on him for, or nothing he hasn't been in the limelight. So anything you say at him seems like you would be picking. We got exactly what we thought we were going to get. We got the 2 clashing, although I don't think that I expected Biden to be that bad. I expected him to be, not as articulate as Trump, but he was really not there half the debate.
So do you think he's going to do another debate, or do you think he's going to can the second debate?
Well, if he cans the second debate, he's given up altogether. Because he's saying, that would be perfect for Trump to jump all over too. If he says no, that's it. Just give him the keys to the White House. That's it. Because there is no more. I think right now, there are the true Democrats that are sticking their teeth in, saying that Biden won that. There are a few of them, but the honesty of the whole thing is there's no way you could say that Biden trumped Trump. There's just no way, because he just stumbled a lot. Now once he got going, he was okay, but then it sounded like two cheerleaders fighting. They were going for the jugular, and they had nothing to do with politics. It was just really, it was garbage. So, all right, well, I think that can conclude that part of the the talk, because there's not much more we can say about it. I mean, anybody that was watching the debate can tell you who won. That was a pretty simple thing, but it was really pitiful that that's what we had for the contestants. Neither of them were good, but one was.
We get what we deserve, Mike. We get what we deserve.
Well, yeah, I guess. I don't know. All I know is that it was sad. So, all right, let's go on to something else fun. Guess what happened 30 years ago? 30 years ago this year. You're not going to guess, but you got grandkids, so you might. 30 years ago.
No, 30 years ago?
30 years ago. Well, that was when we last had civilization, I think, but no. The Lion King turns 30.
Oh,
it's hard to believe. 30 years. And I didn't see the original Lion King. I did see the remake. And I saw it in one of those special things. It was like, not 3D, but it was in, I don't know.
IMAX?
What's that?
IMAX?
Yes. I saw it in IMAX. And that's the only time I ever saw it. I saw it about 4 years ago or whatever when they re-released it. I actually liked that movie. I didn't think I would, And I went during the day so that no kids could see me. So, but actually it was a pretty good movie. I will tell you that I didn't really want to admit that, but it was. It was a good movie, and I enjoyed it. So that was fun. Oh, that's nice. Got that? Okay, I need that back. Get back here. Well, that's not the one. Wait a minute. This is the one I want. There we go. Okay. So yeah, that was funny. Did you see it? Did you ever see it?
Yes.
Yes. Did you like it?
Yes.
Okay.
It was well written.
Yes, and probably back when Disney was doing things that was enjoyable. They haven't had a hit in a long time, but I thought that was cool. Okay, so
they're banking on. Isn't Disney behind
Inside Out?
Yes.
Yes, Inside Out. I'm going to talk.
Incredible. Is it the? It's not the Incredibles. With the Minions.
The Minions is coming out. Yes. Or did it come out already?
No, 4's starting now.
Okay, I started seeing commercials for it. So, yeah, I like the Minions. Actually, that's one of Steve Carell's best parts. He plays the Gru, and actually, I like the young Gru that they had at the last one that they did. That was kind of cool. But didn't they also do Inside Out? Because they did well with Inside Out.
I think they did.
Because actually, that's one of the things I want to talk about today. Is I think actually that's the next thing I'm going to talk about. It's one of the things that I found very interesting was that. Well, that's anyway. So the 30 years that it hit a global the global that hit Disney didn't believe in. They didn't believe in that movie, and it blew up. I mean, it did really well. In the 80s and 90s, the movie studio experienced huge hits with animated films like The Little Mermaid, Beauty and the Beast, and it left many of the creatives at Disney Studio to continue making princess stories. And so there you go. That's not a princess story. I guess I broke the mold, but I thought that was kind of cool that is 30 years old. And let me close that and close this. Okay, close this. Okay, there we go. Oh, look, Jen's in the chat room. Hi, Jen. Then we got... Okay. Well, let me do it. Come on, let me do it. Come on. Then Inside Out, it says here, Inside Out could hit $1 billion this weekend. And that's only 3 weeks, I think 3 weeks old, maybe 2 weeks old. It's doing that well with the show. Kenya Moore is exiting Real Housewives of Atlanta. The Street Fighter movie will hit theaters in 2026. They're going to renew the Interview with the Vampire. So those are all things that are happening. NFL partners with Hallmark to produce a Christmas movie. Who would have thought that would ever happen? The world is definitely changing. The Chiefs. The Chiefs and Hallmark produce a Christmas movie called Holiday Touchdown, a Chiefs love story. When I had a girlfriend from before Christine, the one before Christine, that I was swearing off all women. Once I got done with that, I said, I'm never going to go out with another woman as long as I live. That lasted 6 months. But anyway, Lisa that's her only show, the only television station she would watch is Hallmark. And she'd watch those movies. I tried to watch one of those movies. It was so horrible. It was really, really badly produced. Anyway, the Chiefs are making a movie in 2024, and Patrick Mahomes is not the headliner. Kansas City and Hallmark are collaborating with the NFL and send Skydance Sports to make a holiday movie. Tyler Haynes, Hunter King, and Ed Begley Jr. will star in the Holiday Touchdown, a Chiefs love story. The film is set to premiere on the Hallmark Channel this winter during the 15th annual Countdown to Christmas programming event. There you go. I wouldn't have expected that, because the last thing I would expect to see on Hallmark would be football.
Well, all the scripts are the same. Every Hallmark movie follows the same script.
Well,
I've watched a lot of Hallmark.
Okay. Did you keep your man card, or did you have to give it up?
No, I gave it up.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, I didn't think you were allowed to do that. I lost mine when I just met her, so, I'm just now getting eligible to get it back. Well, I mean, the thing about Hallmark, they do have some interesting programming. I found a lot of violent movies on there, and some actual based on real life movies about women that were locked up in rooms and they were kept away from their family and stuff, and that's some really weird crap, and that was based on true stories. That's really strange to me, and I don't quite understand. Hallmark actually would be a good home for my one TV show that I want to do, because actually that would be, I could see that happening. But you never know. You just don't know. Okay, is this working or not? Why is this not working? Let's see. I gotta check something here. See if I want to make sure my posts are going down. Okay, there's one. Okay, good. Okay, it was just the wrong page, and I gotta pin this. In Twitter, you get to pin your last show, so that it's easier to find. I like to put the articles right after the show, but if you do that, they may not even see the show. They'll see all the articles. Okay. Anyway, so that's kind of interesting that they would do a football thing.
I wonder if Chiefs have a real life love story going on. Did you know that?
Kelsey?
Did you realize that?
Is that Kelsey?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kelsey and Taylor Swift.
Yeah. I guess I can get on board with that, because I'm not really a Taylor Swift family friend, but I respect her because she cares about her fans, and hey, she needs love too. What the heck? Oh, there's a big purge on Paramount. Paramount guts nearly all content on Comedy Central, TV Land, CMT, and MTV websites. The sites formerly home to a trove of groups and related materials now direct users to Paramount Plus. So apparently, it says here, following the unexpected shuttering of the MTV News website earlier this week, Paramount has now largely cleaned house of the sites for for several more of its cable channel in a potential cost-cutting move. As of Wednesday, the sites of Comedy Central, CMT, Yellowstone, Error, Paramount Network, and TV Land were instead directed on media conglomerate streaming platform Paramount Plus. So I wonder, does that mean that we can't get those channels now on regular cable, or we have to have Paramount? I'm thinking that you have to have. I mean, so what if we lose MTV? Oh man, MTV was the thing back in the 80s.
It was the thing.
I have a 6-hour tape of 3-minute videos, and I probably still have that tape. And I've never watched it since I made it back in 1980, whatever it was. You know, you'd sit there and say, "Oh, the next one up, I'm going to get that," and you'd push the button on that that wired VCR recorder, and I know I had 6 hours worth of music on there that I've never listened to. And I loved the music then. Oh man. So I don't know. I don't know if that means that you have to go, if you have to have Paramount Plus to get MTV and all that. But anyway, yeah. They came out with a, did you see Quiet Place?
No.
That was a really excellent movie. It came out, oh geez, probably 2000, I'm going to say 2012-ish, maybe 2016, somewhere between that time. And it had, did you watch The Office?
Mm-hmm.
John Krasinski. He is a really good writer and director. He wrote that script and he directed it, and that was an awesome movie. Then they came out with a Quiet Place 2. I don't know what the tag name was to it. That came out then, and that was real good. They just came out with where did I put it? Oh, here it is. There it is. So it's a prequel to the Quiet Place. A Quiet Place. Oh, wait a minute here. Oh, okay. Quiet Place. Okay, so it says box office for Inside Out 2 wins with 57.4, as Quiet Place prequel scores 53 million start, and Horizon bombs. So I guess yeah, it says I mentioned earlier that Inside Out 2 is going to make $1 billion. Joy is the last thing Kevin Costner's Horizon is feeling, because it bit the dust at 11 million. Whew, that's got to be bad, because you end up, he spent 100 million on that movie and made 11 billion. I'm sorry, he spent 11. What was it again? He spent 100 million and he made 11 million. Nobody's happy with that. He's going to have to do some splaining. So, yeah, that was really kind of surprising it did that. Well, kind of surprising. I would think that his name would have had more people come. So I'm kind of surprised that it was that bad. But you can't tell anymore if a movie's going to be a hit. And that's the big thing, is that these movies, they look good on paper. So, yeah, it makes me sad for him, because I think that he's a good writer and director. So, all right, next. Okay, so this is done. I talked about this. Oh, we had one death that I wanted to talk about. All right, how about, did you know who died?
I know a couple people that are very, very sick, but I don't know who died.
It's nobody on our list. Do you know who Martin Mull is?
Yeah.
He is the latest in the people that have passed away. And I liked him, but it's funny because I didn't really think about how many different things that he did. But he did a lot of stuff. He was on the Roseanne show. He was on The Ranch in Netflix. That's an Ashton Kutcher movie or TV show. He was in Arrested Development, and he had a whole lot of credits. Anyway, here's his thing. Of course, you can't hear it, I guess, so it's not going to be as fun for you.
Martin Mull, 1943 to 2024, comedic genius and artistic visionary. Martin Mull, beloved actor, comedian, and artist, passed away on June 27, 2024, at the age of 80. Known for his sharp wit, distinctive humor, and multifaceted artistic talents, Mull left an indelible mark on the world of entertainment. Born on August 18, 1943, in Chicago, Illinois, Martin Eugene Mull grew up in North Ridgeville, Ohio, and later in New Canaan, Connecticut. He discovered his passion for the arts early in life, attending the Rhode Island School of Design, where he earned a Bachelor of Fine Arts and Master of Fine Arts. Mull's artistic talents were not confined to one medium, as he seamlessly blended his skills in visual art. Mull began his career as a musician, releasing several albums that showcased his unique blend of satire and musicality. However, it was his foray into comedy that catapulted him to fame. With his dry humor and clever observations, Mull became a household name in the 1970s and 1980s. He was a frequent guest on talk shows and variety programs, endearing himself to audiences with his quick wit and charm. One of Mull's most iconic roles was that of Bartholomew Gimble in the groundbreaking satirical television series Fernwood Tonight and its successor, America Tonight. His portrayal of the smarmy talk show host was a masterclass in comedic work, earning him critical acclaim and a loyal fan base. Mull's television career was prolific, with memorable roles in shows such as Roseanne, Sabrina the Teenage Witch, The Ellen Show, and 2.5 Men. His versatility as an actor allowed him to seamlessly transition between comedic and dramatic roles, always bringing depth and authenticity to his characters. In addition to his work on television, Mull appeared in numerous films, including Clue, Mr. Mom, and Jingle All the Way. His performances were marked by a unique blend of humor and humanity, making him a standout in every role he played. Beyond his contributions to comedy and acting, Martin Mull was an accomplished painter. His artwork, characterized by its wit and social commentary, was exhibited in galleries across the United States. Mull's ability to capture the absurdities of life through both visual and performing arts was a testament to his remarkable creativity and intelligence. Martin Mull is survived by his wife, Wendy Hawes, and their daughter, Maggie. He will be remembered not only for his contributions to the arts but also for his kindness, intellect, and unwavering dedication to his craft. Martin Mull's legacy is one of laughter. He leaves behind a body of work that will continue to inspire and entertain for generations to come.
Alright, that's it. He was in a lot of good shows. I kind of was pretty sad when he died. He's one of those guys you don't necessarily realize that you saw, because he never really had his. I didn't know he was a musician either, and that was interesting too. So he was actually expecting to do that for a living. So, yeah. All right. Let's see, where's the next thing? That's the wrong one. Where's it? There it is. Okay. they're making another Twister.
Yes, I saw the advertisement.
It's they're expecting it to open at around 40 to 55 million. I don't know if it is opened or not. Let's see here. And it won't be the same film without that cast that they had before. I love the cast they had before on that. But, hey, who knows? They may surprise me. It's starring Daisy Edgar Jones, whoever that is, Glenn Powell, Anthony Ramos, and it hits the theater in 3 weeks. So I guess probably 2 weeks now, because this was last week's article. And it says here, the forecast is looking better than good for Lee Isaac Chung's Twisters. The summer tentpole featuring a high-wattage cast that includes Daisy Edgar Jones, Glenn Powell, and Anthony Ramos is tracking to open to $55 million over the July 19th to 21st weekend in North America. So, I mean, I'm going to see it. I think it will be pretty interesting. But 28 years ago was when the original came out, and that had Helen Hunt and Bill Paxton. And it also had Philip Seymour Hoffman in it, and a bunch of other guys in that, I think, that actually blew up and turned into, big stars. So I guess we'll find out how well it does in a couple weeks. But yeah, I think it'd be interesting to watch that. I love the idea of people going out there being, and that, unfortunately, that movie inspired people to be storm chasers.
Yes.
And there's nothing dumber in my eyes than chasing down tornadoes.
Twisters.
You might as well just say, I don't want to live. So, I don't know. Some people got to have that. Simone Biles is in the news. Let's see here. She won the Team USA's trials for the all-around competition to qualify for her third Olympics. I don't know.
She's the favorite to win.
Yeah. Well, some people just, they're winners. They can do no wrong. It's funny, when you think about it's funny. One thing I've noticed recently is that some of the WWE is looking for wrestlers, and they recently have captured a couple wrestlers from the Olympics, from the last Olympics, and actually AEW just picked up one of the wrestlers. So one thing you will see is those people catch on real quick to professional wrestling, even though it's really quite different. I mean, Kurt Angle was a good example of that. He went in and out. He was in and out of the training school faster than anyone, and he's probably the first guy that won a world title his first year, just being out of the Olympics. So that's kind of cool. But I know they are eyeing the Olympic guys for that. So, as they should be, because I mean, they're athletes. They certainly know the way to tie somebody up. And actually, funny enough, that leads me to another story. I remember reading, or maybe he told it on my show, I don't remember, when superstar Billy Graham was wrestling, he said that he used to wrestle with a razor blade in his boot, because back then they would try to humiliate you if they didn't know you and didn't respect you. So they would, even though you were supposed to win it, they would actually beat you in the ring, because they're called shooters. Have you ever heard that term? A shooter is a wrestler who can put you down, regardless of how big you are and how good you think you are. They're also called hookers. They can take you out whenever they want to. So you could think you're going to win, but they will just, when you least expect it, they just tie you up in something that you've never seen and turn you into a pretzel, and you have to give up or else they'll break your arm in real life. And this is the funny thing about pro wrestling is that, you know, you may think that it's all predetermined, but there's people also that go into territories, and when they would go into that territory, the promoter would double cross the guy. He'd say if he's a traveling champion, like Ric Flair was a traveling champion. He was in the NWA. The NWA was made up by a bunch of different promotions, and so they have a meeting, a yearly meeting, and they would decide who the champion's going to be over the next year. So let's say one of the promoters got a bug up his butt and decided he's going to humiliate this guy. So that a lot of the times they gave the belt to a shooter or a hooker, because that way they know that that the belt's going to come back. Because if they double crossed you and took the belt, first off, if you were the champion, you're going to be humiliated because you didn't keep your belt, and then there's a big issue where like I said, the NWA was made up of a bunch of different promoters, and you can't really trust promoters to a certain degree. So you had to be able to defend yourself. So Superstar Billy Graham would keep a razor blade in his boot, and he would tell them when they're wrestling, he has one. You know, so if he suspects that somebody's going to try to pull something. So back in those days, it was a big deal. And actually, it happened in current days. Back in 96-ish in Philadelphia, ECW was a little promotion that was growing, and they joined the NWA. And they had made an agreement with the NWA, because NWA was sinking then, so NWA was having problems. So they made an agreement with NWA that they would join the NWA if Shane Douglas was the champion, and NWA agreed. So they went through the whole thing, and he won the belt like he was supposed to. They were presenting him the belt, and he said, "Nice belt." He took the belt, threw it into a garbage can, and set it on fire, and pulled out the ECW belt, saying, "This is the real world belt." And there was nothing they could do because it was live TV. So he burned them. That was a true burning. It was hard to believe that anybody would do that in current days, but that really does happen. So it's funny. And so, yeah. Oh, man. I don't know. The world is just funny like that. Okay. Will Smith is in the news.
What did he do?
He did good things. Will Smith gives a rousing performance on his new inspirational song, "You Can Make It," at the BET Awards. He was backed by the Sunday Service Choir, Chandler Moore, and Kirk Franklin in his performance of the song. Will Smith, people seem to have, they're okay with everything now. And you know what? You know, everybody makes a mistake. And his mistake is a mistake. You know, it's... I understand him losing his cool. It wasn't necessarily the right thing to do, but he did it. And all this flack that came back from, "We're not going to let you in for 10 years of the awards," or whatever it was that they were doing, that was just overblown thing. You know, people aren't going to hold anything against Will Smith. He makes good movies. His heart's in the right place most of the time. And I just think that people forgot that who they were talking to.
Well, I was really disappointed in what he did, but
so was I.
He's one of my favorite actors.
Yeah, I mean, everybody makes a mistake. But to chastise him as bad as they were.
He was defending his wife's honor.
Yeah. And I don't know that would be the right way to do it. But, you know, he made a mistake. And everybody said, well, he's done in Hollywood. He's not done in Hollywood. He just put out a movie that, Bad Boys 4 or whatever it was, 3 or 4, whichever one it was, and that blew the box office away. I don't think anybody's going to hold it against him. And he's got his own production company anyway, so they can't keep him out of the business. They can revoke his SAG card, and then he just does independent movies and makes big money on that. It doesn't really matter. If you have your own production, you can do anything. So I kind of saw that as just we want people to think we did something to him, you know. I didn't.
He just did it on a national stage.
Yeah.
That's all. Most of us don't make mistakes that everybody sees.
Yeah, and he probably thought that he had every right to do that, and technically he had every right to do that because he's a human being and he has a right to do wrong things. It doesn't mean that it's the right thing to do, but he had the right to do it, and I think he got chastised long. You know, he got enough. But it didn't. You can't stop a guy from going to work, you know. I mean, they could have stopped someone like me that has no credentials or anything. That's just a newbie to the business, or really, it doesn't matter if I live or die, because to the people in that business, they're going to say, you know, who's he? And it might affect, I don't know, a lower tier guy, but he's really on the upper tier. There's not too many people out there that are above him, so they may think they are, but I don't know. I knew he was going to make it back any time. He just needed he needed a little quiet time, a little corner time. So he did what he felt he had to do, and that's over. So yeah, he's on his way back. I don't think there's no flack about this. People that are adamant about him being back in the business don't know anything about business. What was this? What was that? I don't remember what that was about. Tulsa Kings is premiering their second season. That's a Sylvester Stallone movie, our TV show. Did you see Tulsa Kings? Did you ever see the first one?
I did not.
I love that. The first one, well, what it's about a mafia guy. He got thrown in jail. He took the heat for something he didn't do. So the mob boss felt in debt to him. He comes out 20 years later or whatever it is, and now the mob boss is on his last legs, and his son's taking over, and his son doesn't care about what he did for his father, and basically wants to get rid of him and just sends him to Tulsa to start the Tulsa branch of their operation just to get rid of him. That's the whole deal. And he finds out that they were just trying to get rid of him, and they were, you know. But he starts his own little syndicate there, and it's just really fun. It's funny. It's a comedy because this guy doesn't understand cell phones. He doesn't understand ride share. He doesn't understand any of that stuff, and he's trying to figure out, you know, what is this? I get in your car, and you're going to take me there? What does that? What? You know, what's a cell phone thing? You know, get me to a phone booth, and like they don't have phone booths anymore. It's really funny. But they have the second season starting, I think I hope soon. Here it is. Tulsa King season 2 premiere date and teaser trailer. And I love Stallone. He's playing. He's supposed to be a 65-year-old, and he's not. He's like 75. And same with if you have Netflix, there's a show on Netflix called Fubar, and that's Schwarzenegger, and he's playing a 71-year-old, and he's 78 or something like that. So it's just kind of funny that these guys are playing these guys that are a lot younger than them. Okay, Sunday, September 15th is the season 2 premiere, so that'll be good. I can't wait till it comes out. It's a pretty good show. It's funny, and he plays a tough guy, and he's beating people up, and it's pretty funny. It had a lot of controversy, it says here, with extras claimed that they were mistreated on set, with Stallone calling them, some of them, fat and ugly. It's a generation thing, you know. I don't think that he understands what's going on in the world and the reality of the whole thing. But anyway, that's a show I'd suggest. If you like Stallone, you will like that show. And it shows that he, the thing about him, the thing I admire about him.
Does he come across funny?
Yes. I thought he did. I got the humor, but if you're easily offended, you're probably not going to like this. If you take it for what it is, in that it's that's a black screen. Oh, if you take it for what it is, he's supposed to be an old, mobster, and that's probably more or less what they would be like. They wouldn't be conscious of social values and stuff like that. I mean, that's not what their creed was. Their creed was to do what they had to do to make the mob boss happy. And if you take it like that, you'll like it. If you take it like if you're easily offended, you don't want to watch it. That's the kind of thing you gotta just keep in mind, is that that's what it's about. But I thought that I really liked that show, and I also liked the Stallone one because he plays a CIA agent, and his family doesn't know he's a CIA agent. They think he owns a gym, and that when he's away on business, it's checking the new equipment out for the next year and stuff, and so he finds out that his daughter is a CIA agent too. On his retirement party, he finds out that his daughter's a CIA. He had one last job to do that they asked him to do when he went to retire, and he runs into his daughter who's on the same mission. She was supposed to be a missionary. It just was funny when they show up. When he shows up to this place, he shows up to this third world country place that has these drug runners and stuff, and he hears this fight going on, and they have a circle, and these two people are fighting in the ring, the make ring, and it turns out that his daughter is the one person fighting this guy and beats the living daylights out of him. And so he's in shock that his daughter's there, and he's saying, "I thought you were a missionary. I thought you were helping feed people and stuff." It was just, it was so stupid. It was funny. So, yeah, that's funny. That these guys. Oh, the thing I like about Stallone. Here's the thing I like about Stallone. I consider myself a modern day Stallone, because the reason he even got into movies, he couldn't find work, so he wrote his own stuff. And then they tried to buy Rocky from him, and they offered him $50,000. He said, "No, I'm going to make this myself," and because they didn't want him as Rocky, so he made the movie himself. And I mean, think if he had sold that for $50,000, what kind of movie it would have been. It couldn't have been a bigger movie. So, yeah. I hope somebody offers to buy me out. I might sell. Nah, I probably wouldn't. I'm like that too. What else we got? Oh, okay, Quiet Place. I said about Quiet Place. It said it started out at 53 million start. So they're going to do well with that. I love that movie. I thought that movie was really cool because they took and just made it. Do you know what the premise is?
No.
The premise is you have to stay quiet because there's aliens. And whenever they can't see you. They can hear you. And if they hear you, they will kill you. And it starts in the beginning with this family trying to get out of the area because they know the aliens are there, and they had to be quiet. So they're running and running and running, and then they'd see the aliens, and they'd be like not moving. And the one little kid started crying, and the aliens snatched him and killed him. It was really quick. That's the opening of it. But it was really, I loved the movie. And then they made a part 2, and now this is the prequel to it, so I guess this is part 3 technically. Let's see. Oh, so now I got a new game for you. Right or not? I'm not going to let you see what it is yet. Do you believe that this was the right thing to do or the wrong thing to do? And I'm going to reveal it to you now. O.J. Simpson was featured during the memoriam. during a segment of the BET Awards.
I think it's the wrong thing.
Me too. And it says the inclusion seemed to catch the audience off guard, and the Goldman and Brown movies have criticized the move. I am really shocked that they showed that. O.J. Simpson was among the featured in the In Memoriam segment of the 2024 BET Awards on Sunday night. I was so shocked about that. I would have not guessed that at all. But, you know, whoever did that, I'm sure has heard about it.
Well, among the African American community, they have backed OJ.
Yeah, you know, I wanted to ask some black people. Actually, I'm thinking of asking Pete. I want to know what he thinks. I want to know what they think, because, I mean, it's not really fair of us to get that. It's not our award. It's not, you know. So I really don't know that we really could have an opinion of that. But we do. I mean, I really am shocked that they did that. So, I don't know. I just think that it's weird that they did that. I would have thought that they would have thought twice about that. Because there's really not... I don't see the gray area, I think. So... But you're right. You're right. It's not really... We're going to have a different view on that. So, all right, there's that. Okay. Of course, he didn't do it, did he? There is question as to whether he did it or he had someone do it. But we know, I think he was there. Either way, I think he was there.
His DNA was all over the place.
But
anyhow, all I know is that I remember the polls after the verdict, and white people overwhelmingly thought he was guilty, and black people overwhelmingly thought he was innocent.
Yes, I remember they played the trials at work. They had a TV, and in our they never did that ever for anybody else, but OJ was the exception. I didn't really want to watch it. I didn't really have any interest in it, but they had it there. Defending his wife is a good thing. Wait a minute, I wonder if she's on the same. I guess let's see, nothing dumb about proper storm. Oh, that's the other thing. Could see her Hugh doing that. Oh, she was talking about her Hugh was Amy Sue's husband was a wrestler, not a pro wrestler. He was an amateur wrestler. But when I was talking about hooking and stuff like that, she could see him defending himself. Hey, defending his wife is a good thing. Which one was that? Which one would the...
It's Smith.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know. Good. I'm glad you're here, because I apparently can't remember anything. Hunter Biden sues Fox over a miniseries. They're making a Hunter Biden miniseries. Do you know that?
Yes.
The Sun's takes issue with the series distributing intimate photos of him in violation of New York State's so-called revenge porn law. Hunter Biden is suing Fox over a fictional 6-part miniseries which it staged criminal trial related to his foreign business dealings. In a lawsuit filed on Sunday in New York State Supreme Court, Biden alleges the series intentionally manipulates the facts and distorts the truth, while images of him in the nude and engaged in sex acts. He brings claims for a violation in New York's so-called revenge porn law, intentional infliction of emotional stress, and unjust enrich. Fox pulled the miniseries, The Trial of Hunter Biden, from its streaming platform in April after it was threatened with a lawsuit. Biden claims the network continues to profit off of promotional reels and clips. Oh, that's I don't even know what to think about that. Because he's using a really strange thing. I mean, it's not clips of him in the nude. It's clips of someone playing him in the nude. So I don't know how much that could. I mean, he's not even saying that this trial. He's not suing over the trial. He's suing over the so-called revenge porn laws. Oh man.
Well, he has no credibility whatsoever. So.
But he could be president.
According to what we have now, he's a perfect candidate.
Hey, he can speak better than his dad at this point.
At this point.
Yeah, I don't even know that that's.
And I guess a convicted felon doesn't matter to some people.
No, it doesn't. He's qualified if you look at it from that standpoint. Oh, what's this world coming to? I just don't know. That's sad. All right, next. Let me put this in here. Okay. All right. This is okay, so I sort of said this a while ago, so we don't really need to talk about this as much. Kevin Costner's box office was horrible. They expected it to be, oh, here it is, Chapter 1 of Horizon, which is the new Kevin Costner movie. Cost him $100 million to produce. And in terms of a head count, that means roughly 1 million people turned out to see it. That's not good for a $100 million movie. I wonder what... I'm probably going to have to watch that now that I know that it's his. I don't have any idea what the thing is about. Okay, that might be the last. Now, I do have... Where's it? Okay. I do have the video of my performance from Saturday.
Okay.
Oh, I don't hear it. Why don't I hear it? Hold on. Why is there no sound? I should have heard sound on that. Okay, I'll take it from... Ah, there is a reason. That is saying... Okay, unmute site. Let's try it again. I mean, it doesn't... The music doesn't really matter. Or the sounds. Oh, here we go.
Introducing first.
So I'll just basically...
From Allentown, Pennsylvania. She is the Trash Talking Radio champion, Autumn Green.
Now she's a big fan favorite, so she came out to a lot of people cheering her and wearing my belt, which you know, I'm not real. And she's really popular there. This is one of her places that she does real well in. And the owner of this place didn't really like me a whole lot to begin with. I think I'm not sure where I stand today, but he didn't really like me a whole lot. So I'm going to do commentary on this rather than much of anything else. Mostly because they use copyrighted music, so I can't really play the music anyway. So she came out and she did her thing, and they do, especially the little girls love her, and I've known her for about 20 years. Okay, here's her opponent. His name is Nathan, and Nathan Cunningham. So he comes out. He's just a twerp. Now he is a champion, but I never heard of this champion. It's Fantastic Max champion. I don't know what that means. But he's a fantastic Max champion against the Trash Talking Radio champion. Trash Talking Radio champion, that Trash Talking Radio belt has been in 16 states and hundreds of promotions. Just to validify that it's a good belt. All right, let me see. And he comes on and he basically says that he doesn't trust the referee, he doesn't trust her, he doesn't trust the promoter. So he's bringing out his own referee. And his own referee happens to be this guy here, as soon as he comes out. And he's cocky, he's really obnoxious, and he's from Hollywood, California. You might know him. You might have seen him once or twice. Why, that guy looks familiar. It's the Vital Idol Classy Mike Trash, in full glory, wearing his vest because he can. I took the vest off, took the glasses off because I didn't want glasses breaking in my eyes. And I was getting massive amounts of people loving me. I'll prove it. I'm going to turn the sound on so you can hear all the approval that I was getting. It sounded a little bit like... Sounds like people cheering to me.
Well, any publicity is good publicity, right?
That's right, that's right. So now the guy comes out and gives me a hard time. Says, you know, you're not going to call this down the middle. And I said, I'll call it right down the middle. I'm an honest guy. They kept saying, get him a walker.
Right down the middle.
They were saying really mean things to me. It was really sad. So I was just going to call it right down the middle because that's the kind of guy I am. I call the referee, I referee right down the middle. And they were arguing with me. Instead of making the match go on, they just were complaining and arguing with me. See, I'm right down the middle, right down the middle. That's it. And then she says, are you going to call it right down the middle? Put your right hand up to God. I said, I can't do that. My right arm, I've got rotator cuff problems. I can't just do that, you know. Then
but you know her, right?
Yeah, I know her for 20 years. We never really did much work together. I worked with her a year and a half ago against her. That's when she won the belt. And I've worked her a couple times since she won the belt, trying to get the belt back. Then this was funny. They had me check her. Like, I've never done that before. I know referees do that, but I felt kind of weird about checking her because, like, she didn't have any nylons on. I didn't know what I was. What am I supposed to check? Am I checking her boots? Does she? I've never had to do that as a ref. I've only refed a handful of matches, but that's the first time I actually checked somebody, and I really felt weird about checking a woman. And then I had to check him, which I'm like, I don't really want to check him either.
I can see her hesitant.
I was trying to figure out what they were yelling when I was like, what are they talking? So we then started the match. Now on playback, I've noticed that I made a few mistakes, but they were honest mistakes. They actually wrestled a good match. It was interesting. So it started a little slow. And she is a good wrestler, by the way. I will give her that. She does wrestle. She doesn't wrestle a dainty, afraid to get involved match. She does actually wrestle. She's one of the better women wrestlers out there. I got to give her due. I had to get down on my knees and count it. Well, the old knees aren't what they used to be. And then people were yelling at me. I was trying to hear what they were yelling, and I'm like, oh. They kept distracting me. Darn people kept distracting me. Then they were saying it was a slow count. I don't understand what they're talking about. And then that guy, the ring announcer, kept bugging me. Got to check their shoulders, make sure they're down before you can just, you don't just count somebody down because they're down. You got to check their shoulders. I'm old school.
You're old school.
Yeah,
That's right.
yeah. I want to do what's right, And then he ran out of the ring, and I counted him like he was getting counted out. He had a 10 count to get back in. People said that I was siding with him. I mean, you could see perfectly that I was counting him because he was out. Then she was arguing with me. Like, what are you arguing with me for? I'm the ref. I know how to ref, kind of. Oh, that's going to be a problem. You can't see. Oh, yeah, you can see. I want to make sure we don't cut off the bottom. We are cutting off the bottom. Oh, okay. There we go. And I forgot about the banner on the bottom, so that I can't. I got to make sure I don't cut off the bottom of the screen. So then he gets her stuck on the ropes, and I go over there, and he has a 5 count to get let go. I count it, and that guy kept bugging me, kept distracting me, and I lost count. But it was only a 4 count. He let her up.
And the crowd's loving it.
Oh, they're loving it when she starts to get get ahead. It's an intergender match. I don't like intergender matches too much. As a guy, you have no chance of winning, because even if you win, you lose. Because if you win because you're a guy, and if you lose, well, then you're demasculated. So you can't really win as a guy. But he did win. He's beaten her like 3 times. This is her last chance. I got down. See, I checked his shoulders, make sure everything is right. I'm a certified referee. I can do this. Got to be licensed to be a referee.
Did she hit you in this one?
No, she didn't actually. She knows if she hit me, she would be disqualified right away. I would love that. I would have loved that. See, I just got down with them too, I just get down and do what I'm supposed to do. I tell you what, I was tired by the end of the night. Up and down, up and down, up and down. Plus the adrenaline was gone. Unfortunately, the camera's out of position there. I didn't do that. So there she hits him. She had a double down. That's called a double down in wrestling terms. And I'm counting like I'm supposed to count, leaning on the ropes. We got a 10 count to get up or start wrestling again.
If neither one gets up,
then it's a draw. That was a good move. I'm sorry I missed that one. He kicked out. He kicked out before the 3 count. He was not supposed to be there. He wasn't supposed to be there, by the way. He kept distracted. He was not supposed to be there. I did not count on him being there, but he's one of the owners, so I can't stop him. Now here's the end.
Straight down the middle.
Here's-
So you're doing the straight down the middle,
Yep,
right?
right down the middle. I haven't cheated yet. I mean, at all. He said something about being an old man, and I got mad at him. And I said, pin him. So then now watch this great trip. I accidentally, I tripped and fell on him. It doesn't look like it because that guy was standing there. He lost his belt.
The winner of this bout, still the Trash Talking Radio Champion, and the new.
He hit you.
No, he was trying to hit me, and then she protected me. So she won the belt. She got the Trash Talking Radio belt and his belt now. I gotta turn the sound down so the music doesn't get canceled. Because you know how YouTube is. But it was a good match. It was actually a decent match, and I was laughing because he called me old, and he lost the belt because he called me old. I mean, because he made a mistake. It was a fun match. That was the most fun I've had in a ring in a long time. And
straight down the middle.
Right down the middle.
Down the middle.
No one cheated. I didn't touch him. I just counted.
And it was just because you're old, you couldn't get down sometimes.
Except that when I trip. I couldn't believe I was way out of position, and that was an accident. I didn't realize that they were going to go for she was going to go for the pin there, and so it just kind of like I went to jump and I tripped over and fell on both of them, and it was fun though. So she's a good girl though. She really she's been in the business for a long time. I have seen her do some amazing things. She's had some good matches. There's nothing bad to say about her. And Nathaniel, I don't know.
You can tell she's an athlete.
She is. She's very athletic, and she actually carried that match. Not that Nathan didn't do a good job. He did a good job too, but she was definitely the vet in that match. And it was
so. Mike, was it scripted that she would win?
No. What are you talking about? You saw it yourself. There was no script. I didn't see a script. Jeez, you cynical people. Yeah.
Mike, I'll be right back. I got to put my dog
All
out.
right. We'll go on to the next thing then. Let's see. What is the next thing? I think we're out of entertainment stuff, so now we just go into the. Yeah, that was a fun match, and it was fun because I like when I get to have when I get to work with people that are good people and that know how the match works. And you did not get seriously injured. I haven't been seriously injured for a long time, but I haven't done anything fun for a long time. That was the most fun I've had in ages. I like to do things that are creative. I like to do things that are not normal. I could have played it safe and just not been a ref and just let them battle it, but that would have just been another match. And the thing that's cool about it was that because I like the creative part of it. I said, well, what if I ref this match? And everyone said it was a good idea, and we took it. And by the time it was over, now this is the other thing that I didn't tell you, is that when I left, I went to the back, and then they had intermission. So she stayed out for intermission, and I came out for intermission to just say hi to Christine, and these little kids started coming up to me, asking me to autograph their shirts.
Oh, that's cool.
So these same kids that were yelling at me and everything they were being really nice to me. And there was actually a guy probably my age and his wife in the audience that had posters, and when I came out for the match, they were all yelling at me, being angry at me. I came out for intermission. The guy was, I went out and got a picture of his poster because it had her as the champion on it, and I thought that'd be kind of cool to put that as the picture for the video clip on YouTube. So it tells you can put a picture on for the clip. So I used that for the picture. But I talked to him after while it was intermission. He was telling me about when he was a kid. These are the guys that he was watching, and I said, well, they're the same guys I was watching. And then we were bringing up all these old timers that, I guess I'm an old timer now, but back then we were watching as kids. My dad would take me to Hamburg Fieldhouse, and we'd sit and watch the wrestling matches live in the Hamburg Fieldhouse because they tape them there. They tape like 4 weeks at a time. So you get 4 hours of wrestling. And so I'd know what was going to be on for the next 4 weeks. It was just awesome, Chief Jay Strongbow and all them guys and Tony Garea, and so it was just fun because that's my world. That's the one thing that my dad and I did together. The one thing that bonded us. When I think of my dad, that's what I think of. And I just think that my dad would have loved to see me involved in this. I mean, he never liked the bad guys. So I don't know. I could see him like saying, you shouldn't have done that because that guy, you should have done that to them because those are good people, or, because he used to always say, son, the preliminary matches, they're all fake. But the main events, they're all real because nobody wants to lose their belt. Well, how would I know he was right? So does that answer your question?
I don't believe a word of it.
Oh, geez. You think I would lie
They're
to you?
all real.
You think I'd lie to you? Oh, okay. Well, that's true. In a way. But that was a lot of fun. That was I just wish that he would have been around to see me get involved in this stuff, because when I was in 1980, I'm going to say 86-ish, my dad was, or no, it was right after he died. Maybe it was right after he died. No, I think it was when he was still alive. I was given a chance to be a professional wrestler, and I could go to school, or I could be a musician. And I chose music because music has always been my first passion. And since I had to make a choice, it was music. And it wasn't until much, much later that I got involved in wrestling. I got involved late in wrestling. I was 40 when I got involved in wrestling. So that tells you how much later I was than I should have been in that. And I'm glad I have that memory of my father and I doing that stuff. And I think he would have wanted to go to the matches with me, and I think it's just awesome that he, And the other thing that's kind of funny is my older brother didn't respect me at all, except the one time he saw that I was at I was doing a wrestling thing, a commentary show, and it's out of York, and he happened to tune it in, and he saw it, and he saw me on there, and he saw a guy throw me out off of the set. I got thrown out of the studio that night, and he said he was so mad he wanted to drive down and beat him up. I'm like, really? You never ever protected me when I was a kid or an adult, and all of a sudden you want to protect me because of him throwing me out. So it did its job. What its job was to inspire some emotion out of him, and it did it. And it's probably the only time he would have protected me, because he never protected me before. Okay, what's the topic of the day? I forgot. You want it?
No, it was the debate.
The debate. Okay. All right. Now, let's see here. Let's see. Gotta find the newest. All right, why didn't it do that? It didn't do that stuff. Where's my main show stuff? Okay, I need to get this up on OneDrive because it's still not done. I still don't have all my stuff. I should have had all my things, but I can pull it up here. I hate when I can't get my notes. Had all my notes, but it doesn't have my notes for. Unless I didn't go down far enough. No, I don't see. Yeah, I don't see. All right, hold on. Let me pull up my notes. Let's put this over here. All right. No one needs to see my notes except me. Okay, accept. Okay. I gotta figure out why it's not doing that right, because that's stupid. That it doesn't. It should have done my notes because it showed that it updated. It did update the first section, but it didn't update the second section. All right. Now let's go into the main show. Okay, where's the main show? Come on. Whoa, what's going on here? Okay, now it's updating. All right, there we go. Give me... Gotta remember where we stopped last time. Well, that's not all the stuff. Where's all the stuff? Huh. Wonder if it's not updating because it's... Oh, it's my dog coming down the steps. It sounded crazy. I thought something was rolling down the steps like the Lost Raiders of the Lost Ark. Like that big boulder's coming down the stairs. I guess she got hungry and knows that nobody will feed her except me. Right? You don't ever get any food, ever. Except Tuesday nights are the only day you get food. I love that dog so much. All right. Well, this is going to be fun if it's not going to give me all my stuff. Okay. Well, that's one of my things. Okay. Hey, did you know that Redbox was still around?
I had no idea. When I heard that, I just thought, I don't know how they stayed in business this long.
Unfortunately, the story is they filed for bankruptcy.
Yeah.
I can't even believe that they're still around. I guess at giant stores and grocery stores and stuff like that, they were still around, but the company hasn't paid employees in over a week and owes money to almost everyone in Hollywood. That's sad. It's really sad. That used to be, my entertainment back in the 90s. Actually, in the early 80s, we had Netflix early on, but it was so hard to watch because the bandwidth wasn't there yet.
Wasn't any good.
So we still would go to Redbox and get some movies and watch on weekends and stuff. Says here, Redbox owner Chicken Soup for the Soul Entertainment filed for bankruptcy. This comes at the tail end of the month in which the DVD rental company defaulted on loans, saw an order for its cars to be repossessed, and missed payrolls for employees. That's going to be a horrible, horrible way to live. When you get in that point where you're just not going to make it, and you got to give it up, and you finally got to say, okay, this is the last ride because we can't keep going. I feel bad for him because of that, and I understand that because I remember the time when I had to shut down my video store because the big guys put me out of business. So, yeah.
I didn't know you had a video store.
I owned a video store in 1990. I think I bought it in 1990 while I was working at D&H because my wife complained because she couldn't get along with the people at work. Well, it turned out that she couldn't get along with people at any work, and that just happened to be the current issue. So I decided, what happened was I bought this video store was down the street from where we lived, and I thought I got to make extra money because the story is longer than this, but the short of it was when I got this job, no matter how much money I made, we always were in debt for more money than I would make, regardless of what it was. First month I made $600 more than my normal pay because it was new for this company to pay commissions and stuff. So I made $600, and I thought, oh, this is great. I made $600. You know, we didn't count on that money. And I told her, and she goes, oh, well, that's a shame. I said, a shame? A shame I made $600? She goes, yeah, we need $800 for the month to make our bills. So I gave her the money, and I thought, well, that sucks because, you know, I was kind of hoping to take some of that money and use it for fun stuff. So the next month I made $1,200. And I said, hey, I got $1,200 this month. She goes, yeah, that's good, but we're not going to make our bills again. I said, what do you mean we're not going to make our bills? You said last month was, you know, we needed $800, and I got $800 here, and, you know, we got $1,200 this month. She goes, well, we need $1,500 this month. Ding, ding, the bell rang. I realized it didn't matter how much money I made, we weren't going to make enough money because she was spending it on something, and I have no idea what she was spending it on. Well, so I decided I was going to make money somehow. So I bought video games at the place where I worked, so I got them at wholesale. And I took the video games, and I went to our video store that didn't have video games, and I made them a deal. We'll split the profits. And that became the profit-making center of that video store. So I was making money. Well, then she told me she wanted to retire, and would I be interested in buying the video store? And I said, yeah. And she gave me a good deal, I thought, at the time. So I bought it, and then I caught my wife was really bad at running running stores, and we went in debt by $60,000 in a very short period of time. And then I took my mom out to the movies, and when I was coming back, I thought I'd stop in to see how the video store was doing because she had to close the video store that day, and she was in the back room with somebody. And it wasn't for doing inventory, so I decided that was it for her and me. So that was the last thing that, and then we talked, and I realized that there was no way we were going to be able to continue, and so I had to close the store down. We were $60,000 in debt. I agreed to pay all the bills except half of the video store and her student loan, and I would pay everything else. And we split up, and I had to pay that stuff back because the loan we got was a personal loan from her father, and her father was cool. I liked him. I wouldn't stiff him. And even though there was no paperwork, I could have walked away free. I paid $30,000, paid him back. So I could have walked away from it. So yes, I own a video store, and that was it could have been better. It would have been better if we didn't have a Hollywood Video down the street, Blockbuster put Hollywood Video out of business, but Hollywood Video put me out of business. So, it is what it is. But anyway, so when I see that Redbox, I feel bad for them, but I was really surprised that they were still around. It's just really bizarre. It says here the bankruptcy filing shows that the company owes money to a number of retailers, including Walmart and Walgreens, as well as major Hollywood studios like Universal, Sony, Lionsgate, and Warner Brothers.
So they do owe everybody.
Yeah. It says Chicken Soup took $325 million in debt when it acquired Redbox in 2022. I can't believe that they actually bought a company like this in 2022. When was the last time you used your DVD machine?
We don't even have one anymore.
I've got like 3 of them. One's in a box, one's in the living room, one's in the bedroom, and I can tell you that those 2 that I have that are open, I haven't put a DVD in. I can't even tell you when the last time was. So it's really bizarre to think. Amy Sue said she stopped using them because every time I rented a DVD, it was seriously damaged. Yeah, people just have no respect for things that are physical. The nice thing about renting over the internet is that you don't have to worry about returning it. So, I don't know. It's really strange. And actually, the original Netflix, if you remember, the original Netflix, they would mail you the DVDs. And then, it's a lot different now. So that's kind of funny. But that's it. That's the end of that business.
I had a monthly subscription to Netflix.
Yeah, you had a choice between 1 DVD a month, 2 DVD a month. It was weird. And I thought that was the coolest thing, that we could do things like that. Man, and now who needs that stuff? I don't need all those DVDs. Says Chicken Soup. It says here, the company recently settled one of the lawsuits with NBC Universal, but promptly missed the first agreed upon payment, leading the court to order to pay the entire $16.7 million balance. Altogether, Chicken Soup has $970 million in debt. Almost $1 billion. That company was so flush with money. I just can't. Another thing that actually, there's a show on, where did I see it? I either saw it on, I think it's on Amazon Prime. It's either Amazon Prime or Netflix. On Movie Pass. Did you ever have Movie Pass?
Yeah.
Did you like Movie Pass?
No.
I used mine every week, and I used to rent or go out and see movies. I'd see 2 or 3 movies a week. Whatever came out, I saw it because of Movie Pass. It was $10 a month or $20 a month or something.
Yeah,
like
something like that. I just felt obligated. I had to go to see movies I wasn't interested in.
Well, the neat thing is, I went to see everything, because this show used to be.
So you benefited from it.
Yeah, I did. Well, there's a show on Amazon or Netflix, I don't remember which, about what happened to Movie Pass, and it actually is a very, very interesting show. And it talks about these 2 people that came up with the idea and how they were kicked out of their positions of president by some slimy guys that took over it. And they were trying to do a legitimate business with it. They were trying to figure out a way to be able to get these be able to go see movies and not have to wait in line, basically, or not have to, they were trying to get companies to discount the movies and all that other stuff, and they had all kinds of plans to make this work out, and it seemed to be working out. But the problem was their debt was getting higher and higher as they were charging $9, and their costs were a lot higher. And their idea was, if they get enough people, it'll be like a gym membership. People would pay for it, and The problem is these guys came in and ended up kicking them out of their own business, started inflating it all, started, didn't care about the price. They were just trying to get subscribers. And they got to a point where they were so far upside down, they couldn't get back. And they basically bankrupt the company. And the two guys that originally started it couldn't sell their shares because by the time that they were trying to sell their shares, the company wasn't worth anything. So they bought the company back at a fire sale for pennies on the dollar. And they're starting to put it together again. This time, they're trying to be smart about it. And I get all kinds of emails from them on what their deals are. And it actually is more reasonable for a sustaining business than what they had before. And they have some deals going with the companies, with the movie theaters that they weren't able to get before. Because ever since they...
Because the movie theaters are hurting for customers.
Exactly. And they realized the value that these guys were doing, bringing the people back. So, yeah, I actually thought about joining again, but the new system is based on points. So you can't see 10 movies a month unless you buy the premium plan, and then you're charged, where you might get upside down because you might not see a bunch of movies that month. So for me, it's not a viable plan. Actually, the same thing happened to me. I mean, none of these theaters had membership cards like that until they did their own, until MoviePass did it. Then all of a sudden AMC thought it was a good idea to start their own, and then so did Regal. And Regal, I had a fight with them because I think 2 years ago when I got so busy with the movies, with the acting and stuff, I said, cancel my subscription. And the next day they billed me for a new subscription. I said, I told you to cancel the subscription. Okay, we'll cancel it next month. No. I asked you before you billed me to cancel the subscription. Well, we can't do anything. I said, well, then don't expect me to come back. And all of a sudden they credited me. $30 may not seem like a lot, but, if I told you to cancel it...
$30 is $30.
Yeah, when I told you to cancel it, you should have canceled it. When I was using it, $30 was good because I went every week and I saw every movie coming out. But when I got this busy, I haven't had time. I figured I'd just, go out and buy a movie if I want to go out. And everything's turning into at home anyway. You can get to see a movie on Google, about a week or two after it comes out now, and you get it in your own home. I prefer that anyway. I mean, I like the big sound, I like the big screen, but I got a projector in my house, and I got decent sound in my house. It's going to be better when I get done moving the living room stuff around and changing it up a little bit, because I just bought some Bose speakers and some real nice stuff, but one of these days when I have time to do it. Anyway, yeah, that's it's kind of weird how that all the MoviePass thing. I really loved what they did. I loved the idea, and it was a good idea, but it all went upside down. So I don't know if the new guys are gonna, if the old guys, I say new guys, if the new old guys are gonna be able to fix it, or the old new guys, or whatever it is. Anyway, if they can fix it, that'd be cool. But I don't know. It's going to be weird. It's weird thinking about the kids that were born in the 2000s. What's a DVD? It's like when I hear things like that, I think how weird it is that we've been around that long. That one guy posted name something in the 70s that you don't have now, and I'm thinking, oh man, there's so many. And that's really not that long ago. Or even I didn't have a cell phone in early 2000. I didn't have a cell phone in the 90s. I remember when in the 70s, a friend of mine had a cell phone, and the thing was a huge bag he'd carry around, and a huge phone, and he was paying $100 something a month, and it was $1 a minute or whatever it was. And like, wow, that's a world of difference between what we're doing now. So I don't know. I feel lucky in a lot of ways that we have what we have, and in a lot of ways I feel like it's surreal that we don't have certain things. You know, if I tried to tell my dad I had an electric car, I don't even know what he'd think. Although I can say one thing. I knew I wouldn't be able to tell him when I had a Toyota because it wasn't American. He'd have a fit if he had heard me. If I said I had a Toyota, he'd be like, "Oh, you don't get it. You can't have them. They're not American. They're not American made. You know, they didn't use American steel. You know, where I used to work at the steel factory. You know, he would have gilded me on that. But hey, I have an American car now, and a Prius. But the American car is the important one. So." Oh man, that's really weird things to think about. All right. So here is a weird one. This is a OpenAI sued by by the Center. Hold on, I gotta put this up here. Okay. OpenAI sued by Center for Investigative Reporting as media takes diverging paths on the tech giant. So this is the fifth news organization that's suing. So I guess as OpenAI starts searching for things, it goes to whatever articles are on that and steals the information. So another place is suing because of the OpenAI. OpenAI and Microsoft have been sued by another news organization for using articles to train its artificial intelligence systems, this time by the Center for Investigative Reporting. In a lawsuit filed in New York District Court, the nonprofit Newsroom, which produces Mother Jones and Reveal, and alleges the Sam Altman-led firm copied, used, abridged, and displayed the Center for Investigative Reporting's content without consent or compensation in violation of copyright laws. It argues that the AI tools from OpenAI and Microsoft can obtain variants of copyrighted material, undercutting the market for articles from the organization. The lawsuit is at least the fifth from the organization, from the news organization, at least the fifth from the news organization against OpenAI over novel copyrighted issues. Oh, and I believe I had an article here about, about Geisinger. Geisinger's owned by Microsoft. Did you know that?
No.
I did not know that till today, but unfortunately, because it seems that my my stuff didn't download, I can't tell you much about it, but it's really a strange thing to think about that these let me see if I can. It didn't even make it to my. That's weird. It didn't download. It didn't upload then because it didn't make it to the server for some reason. Well, how did I get the other articles? Oh well, I can't answer that. But we did do we did do this one. We did the one about the woman who died on the beach. That was last week, right? It was
I believe so.
One of the last ones we did last week. She was laying on the beach and
our car ran over.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that one's on here, so it did not update that. That's really weird. I don't understand why. That's one thing that's the issue, is that we did not get the updates. I'm going to have to leave this computer on again because it didn't do the updates at all. And it should have. This is the first time I've had this big of a problem. Okay. I want to check and see if there's a way I can Yeah, I could just do these other ones. Okay, here's one that you'll find interesting. It's an Ohio man. Okay, opened it. File. There we go. All right. The King of Quarters. This is a weird one. King of Quarters, the payphone bandit who baffled the FBI in the 80s. A rogue genius figured a way how to breach coin boxes on phones, adding with his haul adding up as much as $1 million from payphones. Now, I don't know if you remember or not, but in the I believe it was the 80s, I owned a payphone, and me and Bowski bought a payphone, and we decided we were going to, as I usually do, I got it on the tail end of something. You know, I bought it as it was being phased out. Who would have thought that payphones would not be around today? You know, I thought that's a guaranteed business because nobody had cell phones back then. But this guy here figured out a way to breach it and add as much as $1 million to his pocket. Most of the sightings were the same. The standing in front of the motel or convenience store worker was a man, roughly 5'9", wearing a baseball cap pulled low and almost touching a pair of gold-rimmed eyeglasses. The ponytail stuck out from the back of the hat. A button-drawn shirt was left untucked. Cowboy boots were protruded. Most importantly, the man liked to pay for his food or his room in quarters, rolls of quarters. In the 80s, police in Ohio as well as the FBI spent years chasing the man with the ponytail. Unlike a lot of criminals, he didn't brandish a gun, resort to violence, or pull innocent people in his crosshairs. What he did instead was become the most prolific safecracker in modern times, able to breach what was once a beloved impenetrable, how do you say that? Impenetrable?
Forget it.
I feel better because you couldn't do it either. Let's see, where was it? Unbreakable strongbox housed in the country's 1.8 million payphones. Using means that baffled even security experts, the payphone bandit or telephone bandit eluded capture. Quarter by quarter, year after year, he collected an estimated $500,000 to $1 million from these tiny safes. The question was how anyone would ever find him. Unless somebody gets lucky, he'll probably never get caught, Ohio Bell telephone security official Robert Kupenrider told the LA Times in 1987. He's well organized, he's smart, he's not greedy, he only hits a few widely spread spaces each day. He's always looking over his shoulder to see if there was a police car. I mean, back then, we didn't have cameras either.
That's right.
So that's funny. And actually, I'm trying to think. I think those locks were universal. So all you have to do is have one payphone. It's hard to imagine that there was a time when making a telephone call meant going home, asking for someone else's phone, or plunking a quarter into a freestanding payphone, or more than one. Yeah. The first free-to-use payphone debuted in Hartford, Connecticut in 1889. It relied on the honor system, with users depositing coins owed after their call was over. Can you imagine? Who would have done that? Who would have been honest enough to throw the coins in there? They would have just said, it's your problem. But, yeah, that's really... And they usually charged a lot of money. If you had a payphone, you paid an extra big amount of money to use it. I mean, to own it. What do we say here? Our cell phones today has 100% or 100 times more advanced features than the lunar lander had to go to the moon. Yep, I believe that. And this guy made $1 million off of, and back then $1 million meant a lot more than it does now.
Yeah.
you could retire on that. So, actually, you can retire if you have 300,000 or 500,000 saved. You can retire and be somewhat comfortable. That's what my finance guy told me. That was years ago. Yeah, I mean, I just think it's really weird that the guy actually made a living off of a couple cell phones a day. So, oh man. Let's see here. Okay, so it says here Jesse Clark wasn't one of the. Oh, okay. Let me read this. I think I missed something. When phones varied somewhat in design, virtually all of them took care of the coin box to be virtually impregnable. Bell, then its largest phone carrier, reportedly spent years refining the locks on their box and thought it was unpickable. And if a would-be thief even had a shot at getting into the box, they'd have to try smashing it open with a sledgehammer or knock it out of the ground with a tractor. Given that the boxes held about $150 when it was full, few criminals thought it was worth the effort. Mine was really, I don't know how you would do that, because those things were really solid and really heavy. And yeah, I never thought about how much it would hold, but it says Jesse Clark wasn't one of those people. The Akron native was a machinist by trade, but he had a nebulous history. And according to the Associated Press in 1968, he was arrested for attempting to arrange a massive counterfeit money deal with contacts in Europe that would have put 50 million phony bills into circulation. He was caught and sentenced to 3 years in prison. 3 years? That doesn't seem like a whole lot. Roughly a decade later, in the 1980s, he devised a new scheme. According to the authorities, Clark obtained locks like the ones found on payphones and created a set of specialized locksmith tools that allowed him to pick the lock. Though different operators had somewhat different lock configuration, it says Clark zeroed in on specific designs to breach. His exact tool set and technique had never been made publicly disclosed, likely due to security reasons. His strategy was simple. Upon arriving to the payphone, he used a custom tool that he could slip into the margins of the coin box to gauge how much money was inside and whether it was worth pursuing. If it was full, he'd pick the receiver, pick up the receiver and pretend to be in deep conversation. While hunched over the phone, he'd grab the picklocking tools, which he concealed in an untucked shirt tail. He'd go to work on the lock. Picking one took about 15 minutes. When he got it, the faceplate in front of the coin receptacle came off, and Clark would take the box full of change and then replace the faceplate. So he was pretty smart at how he did it. That's crazy. And now everything's credit card too, so that wouldn't matter.
Wouldn't matter.
Oh man. Back then we didn't even really have credit cards. I don't think my parents had credit cards. Everything was cash or check back then. And a few people had credit cards, but I don't think my parents did at that point. So
if you go through the grocery store today, every once in a while you'll see an older couple or an older woman paying with a check.
Yeah, I'm really surprised they even take checks anymore, because there was so much fraud. Oh man, that's crazy though, to think they made $500,000 to $1 million per year. That's pretty good change for a guy back then. Actually, it's pretty good change for a guy now. Jeez. All right. Here's your. There's a new basketball player, and they are freaking 7'3". Chinese. Female.
I saw that. She's a monster compared to everybody else.
Yeah, compared to anybody else. 7'3". Look at her. She stands. It looks like she's standing on a box or something above everybody, but she is actually standing. That's crazy. That's Andre the Giant was 6'9", and there's some guys now that are around 7'2", 7'3". I mean, how do you get clothes? How do you sit in a chair? How do you fly? That's crazy. Her name is she's being called the female Yao Ming. In a video that quickly went viral this week, Zhang Ziyu, a 7'3" basketball player from the Shandong province, towers over her competitors on the court. And it says during the FIBA under 18. How old is she? Is she under 18? 17 years old. She's 17 years old, and that's how tall she is. And she looks like she's in
She's
proportion.
got some growing to do.
Yeah, and she looks like she's in proportion. A lot of the people that are that size aren't proportional. But like Kevin Nash is probably 7 foot. He was a wrestler. It's funny when you watch Andre the Giant along with other guys that are big, tall guys. They aren't as wide as he is, or as big boned and stuff as he is. So they look a lot smaller. But yeah, she's done Girls Stop at that age. What, at 17? I don't know. I can't imagine trying to buy clothes, but she is paid well. She can get them custom made. Well, I don't. If she's in the China thing, I don't know how well they pay their athletes. I would imagine they probably don't, because they're a communist country.
No, they pay them.
Do they? I mean, but not really well, do they? I mean, I don't know. I don't.
Better than they have her on a fast track to the Olympic teams.
Well, that's true. That's a good point. Man, I just can't imagine that. That's crazy stuff. I mean, that's. I don't even know how to think about something like that, because that's I feel for her, because it's got to be really a pain. I know that the things Andre went through, being that much bigger than everybody, just trying to live his daily life, you know, it's probably easier now than it was then, but it's still got to be a pain, because you figure all the things that we do and we accept as everyday things, he didn't have that option. So you know, even just as simple as using a hotel bed is not going to be.
Beef stick out.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
yeah. So I feel bad for him because of that. But hey, she looks like she's at least proportionate, and she doesn't have to worry about things like that. But man, I would, you know, I always thought how cool it would be to be Andre the Giant till I really sat down and thought about it. You know, you couldn't fly regular flights. You couldn't even fly in first class, because you still are going to run in
bigger than this.
Yeah, and couldn't have your Andre couldn't drive because he couldn't get behind a steering wheel. But there's more of these people out there that are. I mean, they're getting bigger. When I was young, 6'2" was pretty big, and I was 6'2". Now I see these kids coming out of school now that are a head taller than me, and I haven't shrunk that much, so it's kind of weird. But yeah, that's weird. And to think that it was a woman too. I mean, to be that size, that's crazy. How about? Do you remember there was a Gerber baby when we were growing up? They had Gerber babies. There's a Gerber baby today. Here's the 2024 Gerber baby. Yeah, Gerber baby. Okay. Meet the Gerber baby. Wait a minute. Oh shoot. No, it's not. Now we're not going to say. Oh wait, there we are. Which one is it? Must be this one. I thought they were smaller than that. I thought they were.
So did I. Maybe they've got him older now.
Yeah, that's the Gerber baby, and his proud big sister. So, I didn't even know they still did that. Jeez. Oh, man. I hate feeling this old. His full name is Akil McLeod Jr. Got his nickname at the perfect moment. I don't know what that means exactly.
How old does it say?
1 year.
How old he is?
Year.
1 year.
Yeah.
He's a big baby for a year.
I think he looks pretty big, yeah. His nickname's Sonny. Represents his sunny personality. His mother, Dominique McLeod, I guess it is, secretly submitted her photo for her Gerber's 14th annual photo search. Figuring the odds of winning were low, she didn't tell us all, including the father. And then she didn't know until she got an email saying they were the finalists. And what are their chances? Well, I guess it must have been pretty good for them because they won. I don't know what that means. What did they win? I mean, I would guess that they have to pay them for being the babies, or to, they have to pay them. I'm kind of curious now. What does the Gerber baby make? How about that? Let's figure it out. Curious about that now, because they have to pay models, so I would imagine that they would pay the Gerber baby. I'm afraid to look, though, because I'm afraid they're going to make a lot of money. Let's see. What does the Gerber baby winner get? 25. Oh, only 25,000. Well, that's not very good. Jeez. I thought it would have been a lot more than that. I was thinking they would be 100. If they're the face of the company, if they were in a modeling agency, they would make a lot of money. All right, now we learned something new. And they get, okay, so they win $25,000 cash, Gerber products, a year's supply of baby food, and $2,000 in Gerber.com gift cards. New clothing from Gerber Child's Wear, and approximately a value of $500. And then they win from other partners, from Little Tykes, Easy Peasy, whatever that is, Up a Baby, social marketing. In addition, they get, in addition to the grand prize winners, Gerber also selects 10 additional babies, and they get $500. I think that's cheap. I think they're being
that's
cheap. They should give them more money. Too funny. What's this world coming to? Baby makes more than I do. Of course, I don't make anything, so. Okay, next. Oh, hey, it's showing up now. All right, now, well, no, that's something else. Okay. New deciphered manuscript is the oldest record of Jesus Christ's childhood. Did you see that article?
I'm not impressed.
So you did see it, or you didn't see it, or you're just not impressed?
I didn't read it. I don't know what it says.
Oh.
I know that they found something. I just didn't. I don't know what's in it.
Okay, they're gonna make me turn off my.
But I believe it's in a book that has been discredited by Protestants.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Because Catholics have 13 more books. I believe it's 13 more books in their Bible than Protestants do.
Okay. Let me turn off this blocker. I guess it's not going to let me see it unless I disable the blocker. There we go. All right. Newly deciphered manuscript is the oldest written record. Okay, so you're saying this was not really valid anymore.
Well, it depends, of course. If you're Catholic, it's valuable.
Okay. It says the piece of papyrus
Papyrus.
Has been stored in a university library in Hamburg, Germany for decades. Historians in Humboldt University announced it. The document remained unnoticed until Dr. Lajos Birks from Germany's Institute of Christianity and Antiquity at Lambert University in Berlin and Professor Gabriel Nochi Macedo from Belgian University's Liège studied it and identified it as the early surviving copy of the Infancy Gospel of Thomas, a document detailing Jesus Christ's childhood. Well, there we are. There's a piece of it, I guess. Just kind of looks like something that was written by a kindergartner. But, hey, what do I know? Translation marks a significant discovery for the research field. Until now, it was believed the earliest version of this gospel was a codex from the 11th century. And I know Amy Sue's there, and she follows that stuff too. Let me see. She says it's 22 actually, and folks, don't forget there's no original Bible. The one we have now has been developed by various churches. That's something to keep in mind, I guess. The document translated by Birks and Macedo was dated between 4th and 5th century. The stories in the document are not in the Bible. The news release said that. The papyrus contains anecdotes that would have been widely shared in the Antiquity and Middle Ages. A few words of fragment described as miracle that Jesus performed as a child, according to the Gospel of Thomas, which says he brought clay figures of birds to life. The document was written in Greek, confirming for researchers that the Gospel was originally written in that language. The fragment contains 13 lines of Greek letters and originates from late antique Egypt, according to the news release. The papyrus went ignored for so long because past researchers considered it insignificant. The news release said that new technology helped Birks and Macedo decipher the language on the fragment and compared it to other Christian texts. Did they have texting? Guess not. It was thought to be part of an everyday document, such as a private letter or shopping list, because the handwriting seemed so clumsy. We first noticed the word Jesus in the text. Then, by comparing it with numerous other digitized papyri, we deciphered it letter by letter and quickly released that it could not be an everyday document. So, that's basically what the story is.
See, the earliest miracle in the Protestant Bible is when Jesus changed water into wine at a wedding at the request of his mother.
Now, how old was he?
And he said, he was 30.
Okay.
He said that it's not, Mother, it's not my time.
Okay.
Which leads people to believe that was his first miracle.
That's, I mean...
But Catholics have a different version.
Okay.
They have the Book of Thomas.
A what?
And they have the Book of Thomas, the Gospel of Thomas.
Okay, that's what they're talking about.
In their Bible.
Okay.
Yeah.
How far back does the Book of Thomas go?
Well, it goes back. This is one of the earliest copies they have of the Book of Thomas.
Okay.
It's one of the earliest manuscripts.
And who was Thomas in the grand scheme?
Other Gospels are further closer to the time of Jesus.
Okay.
We do not have originals of anything.
Right. Okay. That makes sense. I mean, I don't even know what to think of something like this, because anyone that believes that and this is not me, by the way, that believes that that Jesus was not a real person, was not really alive, was not, people that believe this. I mean, this is proof that he was a real person. So, to me, that means something, because when people say, well, he's a fairy tale or whatever it is, I mean, that's about.
There's more evidence that Jesus was a real person than for George Washington.
Okay. I mean, I find this fascinating because we don't hear about anything from Jesus until, like you said, till he was in his 30s. We don't have a clue, what.
Well, there is one story of his youth where they went to the temple on a holiday, on a religious holiday, and he did not follow mom and dad back to Nazareth.
Okay.
He stayed there debating and talking with the chief priests and other leading priests.
Okay.
And mom and dad went back and had to find him. He disobeyed his parents.
Okay.
That's in Scripture, but nothing else of his childhood is in Scripture. Except he went from Bethlehem to Egypt because the King Herod was trying to kill him.
Well, that's a good reason to leave.
It's a good reason to leave.
Yeah, I would take that hint.
So Herod killed all the 2-year-olds and under of the whole town.
Okay, now I've heard of that. I didn't know why they were doing it, but I heard of that.
Because there was a new king. That people kept saying there's a new king.
Okay.
And Herod was paranoid.
Wow. All right. Well, that's information I didn't know.
Yeah, I'm here to educate you, Mike.
Yes, you. I believe me. That's one of the reasons I have you here is because you're my fact checker. So, I found this article, and this would be a good one to end on, I think. 10 vintage slang words people should start using again.
Okay.
That would be, and it's from Reader's Digest, so it's something. It's Reader's Digest, so it's not going to be bizarre, or it's not going to be obnoxious, and it's not going to be obscene. That's it. All right. 1909, British writer recorded thousands of Victorian slang words to make sure they were never forgotten. Now it's your turn to use them. So, mutton shunter. Do you know what that is?
No.
It's a policeman. Is the president in town or something? There's mutton shunters on every plastic corner. So that's an example. Number 2 is giggle mug. You know what a giggle mug is?
A beautiful girl in a pageant.
Yeah, that's a good choice. A habitually smiling face.
Habitually smiling.
These Miss America contestants are a bunch of giggle mugs. All right, next one. So the picture doesn't necessarily give you the answer.
No, doesn't.
Fly rink.
I have no idea.
I have no idea on any of these, by the way. I have not cheated on this. A polished bald head. Be sure to wear glasses if you go outside. Grandpa's fly rink is blinding today. Hold on here. I gotta grab this one because this could be actually a funny retort. Okay, number four is Jiggins hunting.
I have no idea.
I have no idea either. So, looking for a man who will pay for liquor. Usage of it is Jess forgot all her cash at home, so she's off Jiggins. Oh, I'm sorry, I said Jiggins. Juggins hunting. She's off Juggins hunting again. Now, if I said Juggins hunting, you would figure it out. Once you've mastered the vintage. Okay, yeah, okay. Then there's Sauce box. I have no idea what that is either. Definition? The mouth.
The mouth.
When my kids won't stop talking, I give them some chips just to fill their little sauce boxes. Whew. Next one. Bags o' Mystery. You don't know that.
Never.
I don't have a clue.
No.
A satirical firm. A satirical firm. A satirical term for sausages because no man but the maker knows what's in them. Bags of sausage. Hope there's no intestine in those bags of mystery. I'm trying to cut down.
if you knew what was in it, you wouldn't eat it.
No, we would not, I'm sure. Then there's arf, and arf. Arf, and arf. A figure of speech meaning drunk. Order an arf and arf, or half and half, in a London pub, and you'll receive a malty cocktail of half black beer, half ale. Add one more arf of beer to the mix, and your mug suddenly runneth over. You chum must be arf, and arf. That is drunk. I don't know what that... Oh, that's a mess. Gas pipes. I would guess that would be... No, I don't know. I was going to say smoking, but that wouldn't be gas. I don't know. A name given to the trousers when tight. That's gas pipes. I saw this poor hipster get his gas pipe stuck in his unicycle spokes and totally eat curb. All right. How about Pumblechook? I'm glad these aren't active today because I don't think I'd remember them if they were. Pumblechook is a human ass. Okay. From Uncle Pumblechook, a character in Dickens' Great Expectations, is described as the basest of swindlers, greedy, pompous, and piggish. Okay. You could use it in a... here's the use of it. That fat Pumblechook at Arby's totally cut me off in his Hummer. Then he gave me a sneer in the drive-thru. Okay, number 11. Row-de-dough. It's a riot. A play of row, or rowdy, also spelled rowdy-dough. When the police arrived to break up the Scrabble feud, it escalated into a full row-de-row. I can see why they're not being used.
Yes.
Let's see. Oh, there is no 11. You said, oh, was that the 11th one? No. This is, okay. Well, that was entertaining. Let's see here. How about contemporary slang words that need to end?
Okay.
All right. Erase these words from your vocabulary. Well, what words? Oh, okay. It's okay. I guess the first one is the new normal. Well, let's see what else I got. Thought they would be actually more entertaining than that. Oh, here's a good article. You know there's a hot dog eating contest, right?
Sure.
I think the guy, I can't think of his name all of a sudden. Joey Chestnut, that's what it is. He's like the world hot dog eating champion. And how they can eat that stuff in the numbers that they eat it, in the time that they eat it, it's really bizarre. This hot dog eating champ has been banned from competitions. Can you imagine they ban you from hot dog eating? I mean, if you're banned from competition for doing something, oh, Joey Chestnut's the one who was banned. Okay, Joey Chestnut won't get a chance to win his 17th Nathan hot dog eating contest this week. Apparently, he won't be. Due to his. Oh, okay. So, per Steve Kuzo of the New York Post, he won't be competing in this year's 4th of July competition due to his deal to represent Impossible Foods, a plant-based brand that's a rival of Nathan's. I don't know. He must be getting good money to do that. It says here, I was gutted to learn from the media that after 19 years, I'm banned from Nathan's July 4th hot dog eating contest. I love competing in the event. I'm trying to understand why. Due to his deal
he's representing a rival company.
Oh, okay. All right. Now that makes sense. But they're not really a rival because it's not real meat. Of course, hot dog's not really meat either.
I mean, the whole plant food industry is growing.
Have you ever eaten Impossible Burger?
No.
I have. I actually liked it. And I was buying Impossible Burger and plant-based food for a while because I kind of liked it. And I thought, well, if it's better for me. I stopped eating it lately, the past couple of years, because just it's so expensive, you know. And
good food always is expensive.
Yeah, it is. And I was getting Impossible meatballs and stuff like that. It was really neat that you could get that stuff. It doesn't taste the same, 100% the same, but it tasted enough the same that I didn't mind it. It wasn't like I thought, well, you know, being a person that's never eaten well in my life, it probably would be a good idea to start eating at some point. I did. That's when I was bigger. I mean, since I've stopped eating that stuff, I lost weight. Why would that be? Oh, yeah, I didn't eat as much. But I don't mind the Impossible Burger, and I don't mind that type of plant-based stuff. A lot of people are just because it's plant-based, they won't even try it. But
right.
I kind of liked it. I didn't find it as, you know. But then I don't eat that much. I don't eat that much hamburger at all. When I sit down, when I think about it, I don't go to fast food markets. I don't go to, the convenience stores. Almost all my meals are at home. So I make something, and I don't always make the most nutritious meals, but I'm pretty adamant about not eating a lot of bad food. I'm like Jim Morrison. I eat more chicken than any man ever seen. I eat a lot of chicken. I like chicken, but I really don't eat a lot of beef and stuff. I remember one time I used to at one point in my life I used to eat a lot of steaks and stuff because I didn't have steak when I was a kid, so I had to try all the different things that I didn't have as a kid. And I used to love steak, but I don't really eat steak because I find steak, it's just, I like chicken better. And I like pork better than beef, I think. But I don't eat much pork either. I mean, I don't eat much. I think I eat a lot of chicken, but really not any other types of meat. That might be why I'm still alive. I don't know. Could be. So, I don't know. But, yeah, so he got banned from freaking hot dogs. That's funny to me. I don't know. This guy ate so many hot dogs. I've seen him eat. I don't know how those guys do it. I don't know. And he's not fat. I mean, he's just a basic guy. But, man, that's crazy. And the amount of food that they eat when they're doing those competitions, that's crazy stuff. We're getting, let's see if we got one more good one. Let's see. I could talk to you. Have you? I started talking about this a couple times, and I don't know if you had a chance to check it out or not. But that's the Skinwalker Ranch.
Yeah, it's on my list to do.
They have a second show called Beyond Skinwalker Ranch. That one may be more interesting. Well, in some ways, it's more interesting. In some ways, the Skinwalker Ranch is getting... It's getting crazy how I feel like they're getting close to something. And that's the way they want you to think. But the things they're seeing in this season on just the Skinwalker Ranch are kind of scary in a way, because they're trying, like, they're having odd things happen. They're trying to drill into this mountain, and they keep running into something. They have these professional drillers, and they can't seem to break through whatever that is that they can't see. But they've done radar, and they can tell the shape of what it is. So there's apparently something below the surface in the form of probably a cave or something in that's keeping them from drilling into this. And that's real interesting. But beyond the Skinwalker Ranch, the thing that's really cool about that is they have another ranch that's like a sister ranch. It's a little bit further away that is experiencing a lot of similar things. And they found a shaft that's been covered up, and they're digging in there to figure out what's in there. But they're also taking it a step further. They're taking the people that are doing Beyond Skinwalker Ranch are taking journeys across the country and finding, like in New England, somewhere up in Boston area, they're finding some things up there that are pretty bizarre. And also they're finding, using the same techniques that they're using at Skinwalker Ranch, they're finding similar things happening at these other places. They use a test with sound, they use a test with lasers and stuff like that, and it's producing not UFOs. They're not called UFOs now. They're called UA something,
unidentified area phenomena. UAP.
And it's actually they got me addicted to this stupid show. I can't turn it off. I mean, I'm ready for more. I can't stand one time a week, because it's really got me like thinking, what is this stuff? What's going on here? And I would really love to know what the answer is. I mean, I keep thinking that we're going to end up finding the answer is that they're right, and that there is somebody there, and that they piss them off because they shoot a rocket and it hits one of their vehicles, and they end up saying, that'll be it. You know, I have that in the back of my head, that just maybe there is more to this than what we're being led to believe, and it could be dangerous, but I don't know. I think it'll be interesting to see what comes out of all this stuff, because it's got me thinking a lot about what it could be. These things are like the one thing that they showed last week is this vehicle or whatever it is. It's going like this. It's like sharp turns, and you're seeing it. You're seeing it on the screen. I don't know if there's special effects on this or not. I'm taking it as what we're seeing is what they're seeing, but it's making no human could be in that because of the G-force that it would take to turn that quickly. So it's really got me interested, and they do Tuesday nights, so tomorrow I'll probably watch. Well, maybe I'm going to Maryland tomorrow because I got to pick up a microphone. I decided I'm going to upgrade my microphone to a new Shure. I gotta have a new microphone that I know isn't just a Chinese knockoff. I want the real thing, and this one came up at the right price. It's got a headset, and it's got a handheld for the same one. That usually runs about $600 in the store. I've not seen it lower than $350. This woman wants $200. She wanted $250, but then she lowered the price after I told her I would take it. She lowered the price to move it quicker, I guess, And I said, I told you I would take it Wednesday. You said you couldn't see me this weekend. And so I'm going to go see it and pick it up tomorrow. So for that price, I can't pass that up because it's a Shure. And I'm a lover of Shure stuff. So I think it'll be a good deal. Anyway, all right. Well, we made it without
another week down.
Yeah, well, we made it with my articles being missing, so that's good. I was kind of scared about that because for some reason that second page did not update, and I don't know why it's not updating. So I'm going to have to work on that for next week too. I got to make sure that our stuff updates, because otherwise we're going to have to do this on the fly, and I don't know how interesting that would be, trying to find articles on the fly. So anyway, all right. Well, you doing anything for the 4th?
No, I'm batching it by myself.
Oh.
Making my own burgers.
I don't know. I think I was told there might be a friend holding a party, but she didn't give me a definite on whether or not. She asked me what I'm doing. I said I don't know. And she said, well, we're thinking of having a party. I said, well, let me know. And she hasn't let me know. She did go in the chat room, but she didn't say anything about it. What was Mac Lloyd? Last one. Oh, wait a minute. There's some chat room stuff. What was Mac Lloyd? The last had Downs. Oh, okay. Oh, that's the baby stuff that we were talking about. Last baby had Down syndrome, I guess. And then she was talking about the Bible thing. Okay. All right. Well, I guess then maybe we can figure out some of these issues I have off the air and figure out how to fix your sound thing. So,
yep.
And then
everything else is working.
Yeah, I don't have band practice Sunday either. So if nothing else, maybe we can do it Sunday after you get done with your church or whatever. So
yeah, okay.
All right, we will. All right, I guess that's it.
Take care, Michael.
It is another wrapped up show here, and YouTube is not showing our video. Why is it going on? Well, we got the music, we just don't have the video. Well, that's crazy. That is really crazy. Why is that happening that way? Let's hit back up. Here we go. Oh, there we go. There we go. Have a good week, and everybody be safe on the 4th of July. We'll see you next week. Same bad time, same bad channel. It's the anniversary show. We'll talk to you.